Gallagher. Oh, good footwork. Now Rosario, Coventry are beginning to flow. Kenny Sampson's gone on the overlap. Here he is, the former England player. That's a good cross as well. Fabulous goal. Mick Quinn continues that astonishing scoring record since he came here, initially on loan from Newcastle, but having confirmed his full-time transfer this week.
Taken on by Froggatt. Two up with him. Froggatt goes for goal! That is absolutely brilliant!
Fast approaching the hour mark here. Can the Sky Blues come up with something? Coventry City really need to take a result out of this, and they've been in such good form recently. Ball's on the edge of the box, it breaks. Wise! Well, stick that one in the collection. Last week was scrappy, that was genius.
Now Coventry have won it back here. This could wrap it up for sure, and it must be, and it is! It is O'Hare! And Coventry have beaten Fulham again!
Wow. A very good evening to you all. Welcome to another edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. And what I could say is a very dramatic evening last night. I didn't get back in my house till about 2 a.m. after a horrific journey back from Blackburn. But believe me, it was well worthwhile. We've got an action-packed programme for you tonight with plenty of video clips, comments and all sorts of messages and stuff and songs. And we've got 4 guests for you as well as a Reading guest, which will be coming on about 8 o'clock or just after 8 o'clock. We've got Matt from the Reading podcast just after 8 o'clock. I've also got Claudio, I've got Vicky, and I've got Miles, and I've got Dave Percival also coming on, hopefully at some stage tonight to join us. Let's bring the guests in. Did you start discussing last night's fantastic point, which it was in the end, even though we didn't play particularly well? We got the point from nowhere, if you like, in added time, when we looked like we were going to get nothing. We managed to scramble home an equaliser from an unlikely source, being Ben Wilson. Claudio, good evening to you.
Evening.
Evening, how are you? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks.
Did you enjoy the game last night? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially 95 plus minutes was fantastic. I mean, yes.
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it
Yeah.
more in just a little minute. We've got a lot to discuss. Victoria, good evening to you.
Good evening, Ken. Good evening, Ken.
Good evening, Vic. Yes, you enjoyed it last night as well, yeah?
I'm not sure enjoyment. The last 5 minutes.
Yes, the last 5 minutes certainly. But it was a bit of it was a bit of it wasn't a very great game to watch, apart from the last 5 minutes, to be honest, for us anyway. Of course, Miles, who was there along with myself. Good evening, Miles.
I'm tired. I've got me. Yeah. I look at my bags, man. I'm so tired. It's unbelievable.
Well, the traffic was appalling last night. Yeah, the traffic on the way back was absolutely appalling. The M6 was closed around the Stoke-on-Trent area. We had to come off and then come back on, and then there was another accident in the way where we went off, so we had to divert again. It was just a nightmare. We eventually arriving back in Coventry about 1:30, 1:45 in the morning, which was a good job I booked today off work, which otherwise I would have been struggling, to be honest. And Miles
would have been awful.
You booked
it
the
would
day
have been
off
awful. Yeah, it would have been awful if we hadn't got that equaliser, wouldn't it? Blimey.
It would have been. It would have been.
Oh,
what a fantastic night it was. We're going to start discussing it in just a moment. I'm just going to remind you of a couple of things before we get talking about the game. We had a competition running, obviously, over the last couple of weeks. You've still got loads of time to claim. Obviously, if you've got a winning card, the winning numbers, we can put up on the screen, I believe. There they go. There's the winning numbers. If you haven't claimed your prize yet, a few prizes have been claimed, but there is still a few not being claimed. So if you got your business card in your that Miles or myself have given to you over the last couple of games, stuck in your coat pocket or something, check the numbers. They're on the bottom of the screen there. plenty of prizes to be given away. I said there is a few prizes that have been claimed, but there is a few that haven't been claimed. So you've got plenty of time to claim them. There's no pressure there, but we just keep reminding you that them prizes are there to be claimed. And if you haven't got the numbers, they're on the screen now, and you can get them from our social media channels as well. So there you go. Also, Player of the Year. Time to vote for your Player of the Year season again. It's Big Vic obviously won it last year from our podcast, just by one vote, by the way, from Callum O'Hare last year. He won it very close. So it's time to vote again. You can vote for your Player of the Year by emailing us at info@skybluefanstv.co.uk with your details and just tell us which player you want to vote for. You'll then go into a draw to win one of two £25 gift vouchers for the Sky Blue Tavern to spend on some luxurious food and drinks down at the tavern, which are very nice. We've sampled them ourselves, so they're very nice, aren't they, Miles? Very good.
Very good. Especially the mixed grill. The mixed grill's fantastic. Isn't it?
It certainly is. So there you go. There are a couple of things I wanted to get out of the way. Let's get straight on to the game then from last night. Dramatic finale. Let's start with you, Vicky. First of all, let's go about the team. Were you the right team selection for Mark Robbins? Do you think you got the team?
I think so. I mean, I think that with the limited options we've got, there was no real reason to change a winning side, was there, from Saturday? So I wasn't really surprised with the starting lineup and saw no reason to change it. I wasn't surprised by that.
Yeah, so he wasn't surprised by. I mean, I thought personally, they might have. Started maybe with just one up front, but he went with the two. He went with Godden, didn't he? He stuck with Godden, so play to him. But Claudio, were you surprised at the team selection? Did you have any changes?
No, I thought he may have gone with Dabo to the Cuffy as well, just a bit more sort of defensive. No, but I wasn't surprised. I mean, to be honest, there's not much you can change, is there? So
not really. No, it's down to the bare. But I suppose the only thing he could have done is probably just played the one up front rather than the two, or maybe brought in Esbrand. Maybe that's a possibility because he had been playing quite well as well. So there's not a lot. I know we're a bit struggling and a bit thin on the ground. So there's not many changes he could make, to be honest. Miles, would you have made any changes from the team, or were you surprised by anybody?
Yeah, I thought maybe Esbrand might have started in place of Bidwell. I could see why he chose Bidwell at QPR. I said it the other night that on Sunday that I think he chose Bidwell at QPR because of the size of the pitch. It was quite narrow. The ground's really narrow. So you could understand why he chose Bidwell for that game. This game, maybe, and we've seen it at the start, seen it for the final 15 minutes of the first half, really, that Bidwell wasn't getting forward enough. He wasn't putting enough pressure on the back line. He wasn't pushing forward. And I thought Esbrand, when he came on, he changed the game on our left-hand side, and he pushed us a lot more forward and started to put a lot more pressure on them. So maybe we should have started him. But like everyone says, you don't change your winning team. It's one of those, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's ifs and maybes. If Esbrand might have started, might we've not conceded? Who knows? It was just one of those, and Robbins knows the players inside and out. So as I say, you don't change your winning team. So it was probably expected.
Yeah, Victoria. I don't think the first half was great, was it, to watch? I mean, I don't know what it was like to watch at home, but certainly us at the ground. I know we didn't seem to fire on all cylinders, did we? I mean,
it was just a bit frustrating, wasn't it? Just a little bit frustrating. We just weren't quite on our game, especially because at the very beginning of the game, we probably started just a little bit brighter. We had a couple of chances and just a few misplaced passes at the last minute. Hamer had a chance to play in Norton Cuffy and just got the ball too close to their defender, and a couple of chances like that, and then we just seemed to just drift out. We couldn't seem to get a pass together.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you think, Claudia, but I thought we really struggled first half, really, to get a grip on the game. I don't think we did enough.
I don't know if
we didn't create enough.
On my post on Facebook, I basically put let's not pretend that was good enough. We're supposed to be trying to get into the top 6, and a win would do it. What more of an incentive do you need? And basically, there was misplaced passes from minute 1. We had no shots on goal at all in that first half. And it did look like we had jelly legs, like the nerves got to them. And that's interesting because that's kind of what Robin said at the end of the game, where it got to the players a bit in the first half, and then the second half he said, "Just go out there and have a go."
It was strange. I mean, I expected a lot more. I mean, Miles, were you surprised by the first half performance? I was, to be honest. I expected us to come out flying, all cylinders, because we knew we had a big crowd behind them, but they just seemed to freeze, didn't they? Everything was going wrong. Passes were going astray. The final pass was just being a bit short, and just Blackburn's sort of got a grip of it, didn't they? And we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think the occasion, like Claudio's just said, I think the occasion got to them, and they went out there and they looked like rabbits in headlights. I thought there was a situation in the first half. We put a high press on them. Godden, Hamer, Victor put the high press on the keeper on the back line as well, and they sort of panicked a little bit. And that was probably our moment of the first half. Other than that, I couldn't see anything that we were creating. It's like I said a minute ago about Bidwell. He didn't get forward enough. There was no forward movement from Bidwell. There wasn't enough of it. And I think when our wing backs get forward, we sort of create teams problems because we're pushing them back. We're keeping them away from the goal. But then again, saying that, Blackburn didn't really have much efforts on goal in the first half. Apart from, I think where it all went wrong for me, where I seen it, was when Ben Wilson went down with the head injury. Not Ben Wilson, what about? Ben Sheep went down with a head injury. Blimey, flipping it. So you got Ben Wilson on my mind today. When Ben Sheep went down with the head injury, that shook him up a little bit. And then, but Fadzine went down. He clattered into one of their players. He went down. And that was about 15 minutes towards the end of the first half. And McFadzine started to sort of lose his way a little bit. It sort of shook him a little bit. And I think that's what Blackburn's game was. It was try to beat us around the pitch, try to boss us off the ball, try to put the body on the line, just try to be a bit more physical against us. And when you put a bit of physicality onto McFadzine, and he's hard, as we know, he drinks the vodka and he drinks the Jaegers, and his head's definitely massive. But when you upset him, it just sort of upsets that back three, and and Blackburn got the break. And I thought for the first half an hour, I thought we were, although we didn't have any shots, I thought we were sort of being bossed off the ball. We were sort of being punished and pushed off the ball, where big teams, when they play against us, that's what they try and do. But they did a lot of gameplay against us. They did a lot of dark arts, even when it was 0-0. The ball went out, got a free kick. They were kicking the ball halfway along the pitch, and the referee didn't give a yellow card. I'm sure the rules are, if someone kicks the ball away when there's a free kick, you get a yellow card. The referee was hopeless in the first half. He let them get away with so many dark arts. It was unbelievable. But I think going in at half time, 1-0 down, the last 15 minutes did us, I think, to be honest with you. Yeah,
and Robbins did refer to Blackburn's dark arts, if you like, in his comments, didn't he? He did refer to them, and there certainly were a lot of dark art, a lot of niggling injuries, and fouls, should I say, to especially on Vic, that the referee never picked up or failed to pick up on or take any action on even. He let a lot go, to be honest, and I wasn't very happy about that. There's a lot of fans weren't very happy about that. Let's talk about the goal they scored then. It was a good goal, a good finish in the end, wasn't it, Vic, the header? It was a good cross.
Yeah,
good
finish, frustrating.
Poor marking.
Yeah. Well, it was Paul around. We let a ball just completely bypass our midfield, and then with an unchallenged cross and an unchallenged header, it was all a bit poor, wasn't it? Unfortunately. Yeah, it's just frustrating, and probably just really mirrored how we've been playing in the first half. Players off their game, and letting things go that wouldn't normally happen. So yeah, good goal from Blackburn's perspective, I suppose, but frustrating from ours. Yeah, it was. Claudio, how did you see the goal? Could you see it coming, or
Was it
Yes.
just a good finish in one of them?
No, I could see it coming for a good 10 minutes beforehand. We would just get giving the ball away, and it kept coming back. We were winning it and giving it back. It kept coming back to us all the time. And for the goal, I mean, Bidwell just didn't run out and close that cross, which is something we're not very good at. We do let crosses come in, and he should have got there a lot quicker. If you watch the replay of it, he's standing there. You got to get out for that ball, and then of course the guy, he's seen the cross. I mean, it was only a little dink into the area, wasn't it? He read it quicker than Fads did, basically, and got his head on it, and it was.
Yeah.
I mean, a fantastic header, really.
Yeah, it's a good finish, to be fair. I mean,
you can't let the ball come in that easy against teams like that.
Yeah. Good evening, Dave. How are we?
Good evening, Ken. How are you?
Did you enjoy last night?
Yeah, superb. Yeah, it was good at the end.
We were just saying we didn't get back to the early hours of the morning, so we were all.
Yeah, it was 3 o'clock when we got in home.
Oh, you're later than us. It was 2 when I got in. 2 o'clock.
So it's been a long old day today.
I'm glad I booked today off, and Miles did.
Well, that's a good job I'm retired, so I ain't got to rush around. So pretty good.
Absolutely. How did you see the game? How did you see the goal anyway? The goal that went in, poor goal from our point of view. Poor first half, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a soft goal, to be fair. I mean, it was too simple, wasn't it? We got to clip the ball into the box. It was only a little ding, and Gallagher, good player. He's just got in front of Fads, and he's just nodded it in, isn't it? It was too soft. First half, I thought we were pretty soft. They bullied us. They knocked us off the ball simply. We couldn't keep the ball. Every time we got the ball, misplaced passes. Even Ben got in on it, didn't he? You know, pumping balls into touch. And when you've got the caliber, of Gallagher and Brent Diaz up front, they're always a bit of a handful. But I think we're a bit soft. I think we had a belly tickle, didn't we, early doors, because we were just making it too simple for us. But the goal, at the time it come, you know, people say, well, we didn't see it coming. You know, I think we could see it coming because they'd had so much possession at that time in the game. We didn't really get a foothold first half, did we, to be fair?
No, we didn't, to be fair. Are you happy with the team that started, that Robbins picked, or would you have made any changes from the starting lineup?
Well, it looked a decent side, didn't it, to be fair? Yeah. So, you know, look, he's the manager and he picks the side. We as fans can only go along with his judgment and hope he gets it right. But Bidwell, you know, he wanted to get out wide, didn't he? But he looked a bit slow defensively, didn't he?
Yeah,
and,
he did.
You know, if you notice what Blackburn were doing, they wanted to get the ball out wide to Diaz. I mean, Diaz didn't play central, did he? He was going out more to Norton Coffey side. You know what I mean? And then when he didn't get the ball, and he's a big unit, and Diaz, and he's a bit of a menace. But then when they couldn't get the ball out to Diaz and getting success down that left-hand side, they decided to take on Bidwell. And I just think he was a little bit too soft. You know, the goal was simple. Little ball out, little dink into the box. Gallagher peels off, gets in front of Fazza. And it's a simple head into the net, isn't it?
It was too easy. Certainly from what we've seen from where we were, far too easy. And I thought it was just a poor first half. Second half, then, I mean, we did improve slightly, didn't we? Wasn't a great game, to be honest. It wasn't a game of loads of chances, but I thought we came out and looked a little bit more hungry, if you like, in the second half. We had plenty more of the ball. But again, we didn't really create a lot, did we, Victoria?
No, I suppose you're right. We came out and we looked a bit more hungry, a bit more on it. Like they'd had a bit of a word from AD and Robin at half time. And I think it probably took until about the 80th minute till we really looked like we might get something from the game. Yeah. And at that point, we really started to put some pressure on. So, I mean, 10 minutes out of a 90 minutes game isn't great, is it, when you're pushing for a playoff spot? I just think, unfortunately, it seems very much the occasion got to some of them. So just got to hope that they're back on it for Saturday.
Yeah. Claudia, I mean, did you think we did enough in the second half or not?
I think we did, actually.
Did we think they did?
You don't think they did?
No, I thought it improved. It did improvement, but
The
it's
last-
certainly nowhere near what I
It's
expected.
interesting because, I mean, obviously, I watch it on the telly, and when you're behind the goal, I think sometimes when you're there and you're wrapped up in the emotion of it, it's hard to really see what's going on sometimes. But watching it on the box, we had a lot of ball in the last 15 minutes, and the commentators were saying you can see Coventry, they're going to get something here because there's pressure. And I mean, fair play to Robbins to bring on Kelly to start the second half, which I thought, this is interesting. I mean, it pushed Hamer a bit further forward as well.
Yeah.
And Gustavo, he had 2 chances right at the start of the second half.
He did.
And he should have took them both, really.
Yeah.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
Yeah.
And that's a key to our season. All season. I mean, it's amazing where we're sitting, but we know we've missed a bucket load of chances, which would have put us in the top 6 this season. And those 2 chances are an example of that.
I mean, it opened up for him, didn't it? When he ran through, it opened up for him, and he shot it just too hard, too over the bar.
And when you look at the stats of the second half, and then for the whole of the game, I'm not sure Blackburn, did they have maybe 1 shot on target in the second half?
They didn't have many, to be honest. They didn't have many.
And they're a fragile team defensively. I mean, they've lost 16 matches, and they're -2 goals in the top 6. So they do let in goals. So you can see they were jittering a bit. It's just a shame we didn't get that goal. Well, the equaliser a lot sooner.
I mean, did you think Kelly did all right when he come on?
I thought it was sound. He just sat at the back. I mean, 2 or 3 passes at the start were a bit all over the place. And he gave a couple of silly fouls. But I think once he got into the role, he was fine. Absolutely fine. For someone who's not played for weeks, that's been brilliant.
Yeah, that's right. I suppose he did in under. I mean, it was a bit of a blow to lose Sheaf, and because he's been good for us this year, and you can tell when he's not in the team, we struggle a little bit. But it's nice to have Kelly coming back, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the Sheaf injury, it's probably too many games, isn't it? Having to come back from injury, thrown in straight away. This is why we need the squad, don't we?
Yeah.
To shift these players around a bit more.
He was feeling the calf, wasn't he? When he had his head injury, so he was stopped for that.
Bandage,
he was feeling his calf. Then did you see that, Claudio, on the TV?
I've seen it. We can see it.
Could you see it at the game? I wasn't sure if you'd see it at the game, but And I thought, he's already feeling his calf, even though he's got a head injury. So that was a worry. And then obviously went down the game with the same problem, and then had to go off. Isn't it? It's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, why did you see the second half? Do you think we did enough, or not quite enough, or what?
I just thought in general, Ken, it was a pretty poor game, wasn't it? I mean, when you look, we're talking about the stats for 2 teams chasing a playoff. They had 10 shots between them in 90 minutes.
Yeah,
and say if Hamer had scored when he got that shot on the edge of the box, it could have really gave us a bit of a push. But instead of placing it, he's tried to blast it, hasn't he? I mean, they had one shot of significant second half. Ben Wilson saved it, didn't he? And then the lad blasted it past the post. But that's as much as they had, to be fair. But you can't keep waiting till the last 10, 15 minutes, can you, when you're a goal down? But what I did say to a guy near me is, when you're a goal down so late in the game, you've got to keep hanging in there, because you will get a chance. And Blackburn should have known that City, the last time we played them at CBS, the time before actually, when we got that really late equaliser, they were doing exactly the same. The dark arts, they were fainting injury. They were going down, to get a bit of a respite. The ball went into the crowd. The fans kept the ball. Seriously, the fourth official's going to add that on. Okay, the referee didn't help, because he should have said, you know what, I'm putting a stop to this straight away. They play the game. Ken. They win. Blackburn win the game. But because of all the blatant time wasting again, it's cost them dearly. But look, you hang in the game when you're not playing your best, and if you get one chance, it could be that one chance that gets you something. And that's exactly what happened last night. Ben Wilson, of all people, who'd have thought that? I mean, you couldn't write that, could you?
You couldn't. You couldn't have sworn back. I lost you there for a slight minute. I don't know what happened there.
I was like, where's Ben Wilson come from? And then the next minute he's bundled it into the back of the net, and I was just like, what? Crazy.
And the best part about it after was Vic's reaction and the look on Dom's face. Dom's thinking, what's gone on here, like, you know? And then Vic's gone and had a go at their goalkeeper when he's picked the ball up, hasn't he? I've seen it on one of the videos, and we'll have a look at some of the videos in a minute. Just some of the comments. Blackburn tactics were a bit baffling, says Glenn. They played 2 attacking and wing back, and we caused havoc. Wing back's defending was poor from the keeper, flaps every time in the box. I quite agree with that. They were basically baffling the tactics of Blackburn. I was very surprised. Some of the dark arts they were trying to play was out of the ridiculous, really. Miles, what do you think of the second half? What do you think?
No, listen, we say it week in, week out. When you go away and you play that way, whatever you do, don't go and lose it. And we did it last night, and we've kept ourselves in with a shout. I know it's a tall ask. Even Robbins has come out and said it's a tall ask. We've got to go and win 3 on the bounce. But don't forget, we've only lost once in 15 games. I mean, whatever happens from here, you can't complain. Yes, it wasn't a very good performance last night. We won the second half, really, because we had 3 shots on target. They had 2 in the whole game. We had 3 on target in the whole game. They scored one of theirs. We scored one of ours. But, you know, it just didn't click last night. And I think Dave and I, we were talking on the bus on the way back. We rang each other because I know he had to wait for someone, and it was like, how long they're going to be. And, you know, we were chatting on the phone, and the occasion got to the players. And the second half, they did come out. They did come out the dressing room with fresh ideas, and they brought the game to Blackburn. But the last 15 minutes, Blackburn decided to sit back and allow the pressure to come on. And as Dave said as well, when you play us, look at Watford, 2-0 down against Watford at home. We pulled it back to 2-2. We should have won it because we should have had 2 penalties. Right? We're not crying about it like these lot are crying about meant to be a handball goal, no chance in a million years. But, you know, they can't. Teams got when they play us, they can't think they can sit back and allow us to come onto them, because we will go and get a goal in injury time, and it was just deserves. But just the last, I don't know, last 20 minutes of the first half, all the way through to the end of the 90 minutes, they were time wasting. They were time wasting all the time.
Probably earlier than that, to be fair. Probably earlier than that.
Probably, yeah. And it's just, you think to yourself, oh my God. If you could, no wonder there was no home fans there. No wonder they only had about 12,000 home fans. Because who would want to go and watch that week in, week out, kicking the ball halfway along the pitch and everything out? So they got what was deserved. We travelled all the way up there, nearly 3,000 of us up there on a Wednesday night. It was a beautiful day when we were on the way up, blue skies. And, you know, we got there, we got it, and we done it, and we didn't lose the game. And it's all about away from home. Don't lose the game. Whatever you do, don't matter how bad you play, don't matter how rubbish you play, your team could have 30 shots at you. Don't lose the game. And we didn't lose the game. And that's key. It's absolute key. Really is key.
We were never going to win and go, because if we'd have won, we'd have gone 5th, and that's just not Coventry, is it? We've all followed Coventry long
we don't do it the easy way.
There's no way we're going to get those playoffs like yesterday and then stay there till the end of the season. We're going to do it. If we do this, it'll be like against Middlesbrough, probably like the 95th minute or something crazy, because it's the only way we do things. We never do it. We never do it the easy way, do we?
No. Well,
I want to ask, just a quick one. I watched the video back and back and back over and over and over again since last night. I was watching it at 3:00 in the morning when I got back. It's just before I went to bed. It's just been in my mind all day. But there's one thing I want to know: who was it that ran behind the goal and did all this with his legs in the air and his arms in the air, running towards the opposite corner? So Wilson went.
It looked like Godden.
Who was it?
I think it was.
I don't know.
I think it was
Someone
Godden.
went behind the goal, legged it to the other corner flag, doing all that. Who is it?
There was two of them. There was Godden on one side, and then Luke McNally as well.
Yes, that's right. Luke McNally was the other one.
If you watch the video, and it's probably the most watched Coventry goal ever that I've watched many, many, many times today. The Sky commentary is absolutely fantastic. You've got to listen to the Sky commentary of the goal. It's a great bit of commentary. But the scenes, Doyle ran off with Ben Wilson. I think Doyle wanted to jump in the crowd. And when you see that passion from lone players that don't even belong to the club, it shows how close-knit that group is.
Yeah.
Because they all wanted to join in. Panzo, he got the biggest smile. He could have lit up 25,000 rooms. His smile was that broad. You know what I mean? But the passion showed by these loanees shows how good this group of players is as a close-knit community. And it's just great to see, isn't it?
Yeah. The other thing is, Ben Wilson's gone to the end of the stand with no fans in it.
He went to the bit where all the empty seats.
He's skipping. He's not celebrating.
Well, the way he was running to that corner flag, I thought he was going to be running past us on the M6 on the way back because it looks as if he weren't going to stop.
Yeah, well, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, let's have a look at a couple of the videos, Miles, from last night. We'll have a look at the goal. If we watch, you'll put the goal on. Let's have a look at the goal.
Hold on.
This is from my view, from behind the goal in the away end.
Yeah, and it's had nearly 42,000 hits on Twitter.
Wow.
Keeper score. Back post, Ben! Back post! Back post!
Wow.
You know what cracks me up about that video? The bloke's going back post, Ben, back. When he scores,
I'm glad he didn't hear him.
That's one of the Mad Hatters, that is.
Over the net. There's people
That's Dave Kay. That's Dave Kay saying that. What's interesting, watching it, because I was watching on the telly, I thought McNally had scored because it was the shot from the camera wasn't that great. It was a distant shot. And all you saw was McNally running down towards our fans. And then I saw Ben Wilson. I thought, Ben doing that thing where the keeper runs off the pitch so he can't start the game, basically trying to slow it down. But I thought, hold on a minute, I think Ben scored.
Yeah, I was the same, Claudio, because on Sky you couldn't really tell, could you? I was the same, Claudio. Yeah.
I just thought, is that a goal? What's happened? And I was expecting a flag to go up or the ref to say no goal. I thought, we scored. And it's
I was videoing, and I didn't realise it was Ben Wilson who scored.
No, but it's rolled down his body. That's rolled down his body, hasn't it? And the keeper's
there's no handball there. I can't see a handball. I mean, I think we all agree that wasn't handball, don't we?
We do.
No, we're handball.
No, there's no chance.
Hand of God, 2.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see what... I've seen some video that the goal cam recording of it, where Big Vic comes and says something to the goalkeeper, doesn't he? As he got the ball out in the back of the net. I don't know, and you can see Dom Hyam standing there with his hands on his hips. That was a brilliant picture as well. But yeah, I mean,
there weren't many complaints, were there? I think one Blackburn player had them. They didn't complain.
I mean, I can see initially it looked as if you first look at it quick, it might look it's handball, but when you replay it and look at it on a slow-mo, there's no way it was handball. It's hit his chest and it sort of rolled down and he's bundled it in, hasn't he? You know.
I've got to say, on the Miles referred to the home fans there. All you could hear on the TV was our lads and ladies behind the goal all night. That's all you could hear, because I don't know what it is on that Sky Sports Arena. The commentary is quite quiet and the crowd noise quite loud.
Yeah,
you couldn't hear the Blackburn fans at all. It's just all Sky.
There's nobody there.
Right.
No.
Well, yeah. I was going to say they went silent when we scored, but there weren't anybody there anyway, was there?
No, it's very, very poor from them, I think, supporting wise. And so you could hardly hear them at all. But you could certainly hear the Sky Blue Army, couldn't you, Miles? I mean, we've got a few more videos of the fans, haven't we?
Yeah, here's one here before we bring our Reading fan in.
On the way out the ground, I think. Incredible finish to a game. I can't remember. I was at the last game, by the way. The goalkeeper scored. I don't know if you might have been there, Claudio, when Oggy scored in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Were you there at Sheffield?
Yes,
yeah?
Pretty cold.
Yes, I was there as well. Were you there, Dave?
I was, yeah.
Oh, okay. Miles, you weren't there, were you, Miles? Or were you?
I wasn't there, no, but back then I couldn't afford to go to all the away games, so it was pick and choose, and I wasn't there, but I would listen to it on the radio that night. I remember him doing it, and it was like, it was just unbelievable. And do you know what the funny thing is? That we had a quiz on the coach, and one of the questions was, who did Oggy score his last goal against, his only goal against Sheffield Wednesday? And then Ben Wilson goes and does it last night.
Yeah, that was bizarre, weren't it? That was really strange. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible finish to a game, and I think we deserved a point at the end after all the. I know we didn't play particularly well, but I thought they got what they deserved. Blackburn, all the time wasting tactics, and I thought
it's a massive point, isn't it? Because it keeps them in the pack as well, and have they got Millwall as well? And
they got Millwall. I think they got Preston. Yeah, they got some
Burnley
hard
on Tuesday. Yeah, Burnley on Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard. Local rivals. They don't want to lose. Burnley will be up for that.
The bag is. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
So still be in that top 5, top 6 on Saturday. So yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think we can definitely still. I think we all agree we can still do it, can't we?
Yes.
Well, there's a chance. What's a chance? We've got points to play. I think personally, you probably need 70 points at least. I think maybe 2 wins and a draw to be certain. But saying that, it depends on the other teams when they play each other, doesn't it? And
it is ridiculous that we've picked up so many draws and we're still touching the top 6. That's what's. It just shows, it's almost like nobody wants those last 2 spaces.
Nobody wants to go up. Nobody wants to.
It reminds me of amateur football and things like that. They go, we can't get promoted, we'll get battered. Let's throw a couple of games towards the end of the season. It's just somebody grasp it. Hopefully, it's us on Saturday.
Well, hopefully, let's hope we play a lot better. We need to play a lot better on Saturday against Reading, which moves us on slightly to the Reading game. Let's move on now to the Reading game. We've got our Reading guest waiting in the wings. Hello, Matt. How are we?
Good evening. I'm not too bad. How's everyone?
Not too bad, thank you. We spoke earlier. I came onto your podcast earlier, didn't we? Spoke about Reading.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Tell us about your recent results, because you've improved a hell of a lot, really, since Paul Ince has left.
Yeah, it wasn't really that hard to improve on Paul Ince, to be honest. That was that's for sure. It was. I remember doing some podcasts earlier in the season when we had our kind of good start, better run, and people were asking, "What's Paul Ince done? How are you picking up points?" And I remember saying to people, "I've no idea. I genuinely have no idea because it wasn't good football back at the start of the season." You could just say, we were probably getting lucky, I think, to be honest, early in the season. Some scraping some 1-0 wins. Remember Millwall away 1-0, Wigan away 1-0. There was only really one good performance at the start of the season. That was Blackburn at home, where the only game really I can say that we actually dominated a game for 90 minutes. We actually played really well. The rest of it was just scrappy. No plan, no cohesion. That was the thing under Ince. We said it on our podcast multiple times. The lack of coaching in the team was baffling, unbelievable. I've never seen a team so undercoached seemingly in my life. Players didn't know their roles, didn't know their jobs, didn't know what they were meant to be doing, didn't know what the manager wanted them to do because there was, like I say, no plan. And it just led to so many incoherent performances, which would almost pivot sometimes on a moment of brilliance or just something, two players thinking up something on the spot. It was like we had a really good corner routine once, which Tom Ince fired a ball to Jeff Hendrick against Watford. He volleyed it in from the edge of the box. Somebody asked Paul Ince after the game, "Oh, was that something they planned on the training ground?" It's like, no, we don't practice set plays, and set plays has been our most effective route to goal so far this season, and that was Paul Ince's tenure through and through. It was well overdue him going. His post-match comments talking about players saying that the team weren't good enough. We're not good enough. The players that he's got aren't good enough. It was just there's so much negativity. And when you got a manager coming out and saying that the players aren't good enough, doesn't believe in them, you can't stay. And it should have happened way before it did, because everyone likes to say it when you get a new manager, but like Noel Hunt's come in and he's had a week essentially to get some organisation into this team, and you can actually see I'm not going to come out and try and say that there's a massive plan. You can see a massive improvement, but you can at least see that the team look organised defensively. We've had two of the best attacking teams come to us the last 2 weeks in Burnley and Luton, and got Burnley 0-0, and obviously Luton last night 1-1 with 10 men. So it has been improved. But as we're getting close to the end of the season, draws probably aren't quite going to scrape it. Obviously, it's hard to get anything apart from draws when you're playing first and third. But obviously, it's not going to be an easy test at the weekend against you guys. But then you've just got two huge games. The last two games of the season against Wigan at home and Huddersfield away on the last season, which, to be honest, I am dreading at the moment. Tickets went on sale today, and I snapped mine up quite quickly, quite begrudgingly. So yeah.
Do you think you can do it? Do you think you can survive?
I want to say yes, but we flirted with relegation for so many seasons. Everyone talks about QPR and their run, that they will be the ones that slip in. I remember did a show the other week where I think everyone but me predicted QPR to be in the relegation zone. I predicted Reading to be in the relegation zone. I'd love to think that we can do it, but I just can't see. I think unless we pick up a win this weekend, which is very, very unlikely, I think I can't see us. I can't see us doing it, because I can't see us going to Huddersfield with our away form and winning there. And yeah, like if we don't win this weekend, we're coming into this weekend 10 winless. So even though the performance has been better under Hunt, we've still not won. And if you go into those last two games winless in 11, it's just going to be it's going to be a struggle, I feel. So sadly think this is probably going to be the season which gets us, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, Andy Carroll, is he out? He got sent off.
He did, yeah. Absolute wally.
He'll be missing Saturday, will it?
He is, yeah. He's missing for the next 2 games now because he got a red card against Man United and he got a red card, in the cup. So he's got a 2-game ban. So which is even more ridiculous when you think he goes to try and Diego Maradona the ball in on a yellow card at 1-0
really?
up. Oh. It was shocking. It wasn't even. Like he's come out and said, "Oh, it was unintentional." Noel Hunt's come out and said, "Oh, I would have done it if I was in his position." It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. I can't for 1 minute understand why he did what he did in that situation. It's just baffling, absolutely baffling.
Yeah, and Simon Wells said, "Will Carroll be on Saturday?" Well, the answer to that is no, he will not. So, who do you fear in the Coventry side? Do you think what's the players you'd be fearing?
We
looking forward to playing.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about them earlier. I mean, you 2 in midfield, Hamer and I've forgotten his name already.
Ben
Sheaf. That was it. Yes, yeah, Ben Sheaf. Those 2 this season have just been fantastic, and I've always liked Hamer as a player. We had a player a bit like him a few seasons ago, not as good, but he was a bit of a bulldog and a bit of an aggressor in Joey Vandenberg. He just reminds me a lot of just a much better version of Joey Vandenberg to me, and he's kind of the player I think every team wants to have in their team. Someone who's a bit of a prick, but he's one that you like when he's in your team.
Yeah,
got some real fire.
We had a few years ago. We had Dennis. Remember Dennis Wise? He used to play for Chelsea. Well, we had him on. We had him. He come and join Coventry in the latter part of his career, and I used to hate Dennis Wise. But when he come and played for us, he was brilliant. He was brilliant for us. Yeah, he did such a good job for us, and he's the sort of player. You're right. You hate to play against him, but you love him to be in your team.
Absolutely.
He did really well for us when he came.
I mean, those 2 in the midfield, I think, have been fantastic for you this season. And the other obvious one, obviously, is Gyökeres. Because I don't think you can talk that guy up enough. To be honest, he's one of those players which you look at and you just think, Christ, how good is it to have someone like that in your team, or how good would it be for someone like Reading to have someone like that in their team? He can do everything. He's got pace. He's got strength. He can assist. He can score. He can do everything. So I'm not looking forward to seeing him against our back line this weekend, which is notoriously leaky.
Is there any players we have to look out for? Apart from Harold, obviously he's not playing, so that's one out of the equation.
Well, there's since Hunt's come in, he's brought in a few of the youngsters. I mean, there's one that, I mean, he's been on the bench pretty much all season, but Paul Ince seemingly had either something against him, because he would never start him. He would always bring him on at about 70 minutes, but would never start him. Whenever he came on, he would always input something into the game, some directness, some pace, some attacking intent into the team. That's Femi Aziz. Under Noel Hunt, he's been starting, he started both games, played very, very well. He can't normally see through 90 minutes. Maybe that's why Ince didn't play him at the start. I don't know. It's probably, I doubt it's probably got anything to do with it, because he just didn't really have a brain, to be honest, Paul Ince. But I mean, it's Femi Aziz is definitely one to keep an eye on and to try and keep under wraps, because he's someone who's young, direct. He likes a shot, not always with the best outcome. I'll be honest, but he can crack one. So he's a player that just needs a bit more end product, really, in this team. But he's quite a young player. He's obviously one to look out for, and the other would be Lucas Zhao up top. Obviously, he'll be up top probably on his own, unless Kelvin E plays next to him. Ehab Bishaman, I think his surname's pronounced.
Yeah.
It's with Carroll out, Zhao's certainly obviously going to be the main man, and we know what Zhao can do. Paul Ince seemingly never wanted to play him again earlier in the season, but on his day, he's a fantastic championship striker. Again, can score, can assist. He's got a bit of pace on him. He's a really, really good player. So hopefully he can show up on Saturday.
Okay, give us a prediction then. How do you think the game's going to go?
Prediction.
Yeah.
It's as much it's like the last 8 games before the Luton game, I predicted losses for Reading because I just could not see us winning. Luton, I finally predicted a draw, and we did get a draw. But I it looks really bad when I predict so many losses, but I can't see a win for us on Saturday. It would probably be 2-0 or 2-1 to you guys. I think you predicted 2-1 on our podcast. I think
I did. So I think it'll be tight. I'm going for 2-1. Victoria, what's your prediction for Saturday?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I'm going to say 2-0.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, we've supported Coventry for a long time.
Yeah.
We know teams like Reading, in the bad form that they're in, just worry me. New manager come in, made a bit of a difference. Not won for ages. That's the sort of team we like to give a chance to, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we really need the win. I mean, as much as Reading do, really. If we've got any serious chance of getting that playoff spot, we need to win as much as Reading do. And the worry is that we won't turn up. But if we do, and we play like we have been, Tuesday excluded, I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll quickly go around here. There's a quick prediction. Dave, prediction for Saturday against Reading?
I'm going to go with Victoria. I'm going to go 2-0 as well.
2-0, okay. Claudia?
I want to say
to put you on the spot.
If they hadn't had the points deduction, they wouldn't be in the bottom 3. So they're not as bad as people probably think they are. They'd be 49 points or something.
Yeah.
And quite comfortable, and probably won't be, in this predicament, obviously. So 2-0 win to Cov.
2-0. Thanks very much.
Just had to caveat everything beforehand, but
Miles, can you see anything but a victory?
Do you know what? I'm like Vic. I think we've been following the Sky Blues for so long. It's just it could be. You know what we're like. It could be 1, it could be 5, or it could be another Stoke City and Reading come and turn us over 4-0. You just don't know. But I'll sod it. 5-0, Cov.
5-0. Wow.
Sod it. Who cares? It's a gamble. It's anyone's, isn't it? I'm just saying that, Matt. I'm just literally. I'm tired, mate. I've had a long day yesterday, and I'm
we're
the
worst
saying
team in the league away from home, so it's highly likely we're 24th in the away table.
Oh well, I'm just saying 5-0 for the crack, mate. I'm not doing it on. I'm not taking the Mickey. I'm just.
I wouldn't begrudge you if you did. Don't worry.
But I'm just saying. I'm not taking it.
I've seen Reading this season. It's possible.
I'll go 5-0. Sod it.
Cov Andy reckons 3-0 Ben Wilson hat-trick. Wow. Cov Andy, that gets some money on that. You'll get good odds on that. Mark Cunningham reckons 3-1. So they're all going for home win. Now, Scotty Dan, did Scotty Dan play for you, Matt?
He did under Paul Ince, not since Hunt's come in. We've switched to a 4 at the back system, almost like a 4-4-2 since Hunt's come in. When Dan was playing, we were playing in a 3 at the back or 5 at the back as it was with Ince.
Yeah. And was he any good, or was he?
On the whole, he was good. A lot of the time, he was brought on, and it was part of Paul Ince's baffling substitutions. He would change the back line in like the 65th, 70th minute, bringing on Scott Dan, which often led to disruption in the back line and a cataclysm of errors, to be honest. But why you'd bring on a centre back when you're winning games like 1-0 or 2-0 in the set, it just never made any sense. So he got a bit of bad stick for that. Everyone scapegoated him, being like, "Oh, is Scott Dan time?" and everything. But it was okay on the whole. I wouldn't anticipate he starts this weekend though.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, look, we've run out of time, but thanks for joining us, Matt. Appreciate you coming on, and we wish you good luck after Saturday, obviously. I hope you survive in the Championship. I'm sure you've still got a chance, so I wouldn't rule it out yet. But good luck after Saturday, mate, and thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, Matt. Thanks.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, Matt.
Okay, right. We're going to move on, and then we're going to have a short break, are we, Miles? Now, a little break, and then we'll come back and finish off. Hello, very good evening. Welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. Sorry, we are running a little bit behind schedule tonight, but we've had a lot to try and pack in. Miles, we've got loads of comments, haven't we, to go through?
Yeah, we have. We've got absolutely loads. Mark Reed's come up and says he's magic, you know.
Who? Ben Wilson.
Ben Wilson, you know. Robert Manton, hi guys, looking forward to the show. Oh, thank you for watching, mate. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get your player of the season in as well.
Yes.
Scrolling across the bottom there. Wes says, hand, chest, foot, head. Who gives a damn? Super Ben Wilson. They are. Nation Radio, good evening, Tony. Says good evening to us.
Good evening, Tone.
Wayne Vaughan says, awful journey. Same time as you getting home, mate. Yeah, it was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Wes has popped in his Miles wearing his bag from yesterday under his eyes. The healthy bag.
Good evening.
Yeah, I love
good evening,
that
Wes.
bag. Yeah, Glenn's in here says handball ref. Have Rovers fans stopped crying yet? Well, we've got a little video in a minute for you about the Rovers fans. I don't know if you've seen their Twitter page, but Blackburn Rovers put a tweet out last night complaining it was handball, and basically Cov City said, you've still got time to take us down. I'm not being funny, but if you're a professional football club, you don't put tweets out the way they put their tweets out. It was just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Hi, you guys. Danny Drury, good evening.
Hi, Dan.
Danny Drury again. How are you all? We're all good. Tired, but we're good. This Super City just never gives up. No, never, ever gives up. Big shout out to Richard Overson. Adam Hooper's put out. Big shout out to Richard Overson for the free coaches from the Sky Blue Tavern, which Dave kindly looked after one of them. Thank you, Dave. That was absolute legend, mate. Thank you so much. It was an awesome away day. It's hard to put it into words what moments like this mean to fans. Yeah, I mean, it means the world, doesn't it? It's just, I mean, we're going to the comments, but I took my boss. My boss came to his only second football match of his life, and he went to a Spurs game. And this is him here. This is Dan. This chap here in front of me, and Dan, my boss. And there's the three Musketeers behind us, and there's Mark from Ipswich. And Mark drove all the way from Ipswich to come on the coach with the Tavern, and then he got home at 4:45 in the morning. So that's trouble for Mark, but. Dan really enjoyed himself. He said for him, what he's seen yesterday from start to finish at the Tavern, going to the pub near the ground, jumping over a fence to get into the pub.
We've got a picture of the pub, haven't we? The pub was outside. We arrived at Blackburn. This was the scene we got to. The pub across the road, absolutely rammed. You couldn't get in, so we had to climb over a fence. Because to stop people getting in. So we had to climb over the fence around the back there to get in, believe it or not.
It was really good. It was really good, Ken, because there was these fans stood behind the fence in the garden, and they goes, "Oh, Sky Blue fans TV, Milesy, come here." I says, "I can't climb over." He said, "Yeah, you can. Come on, I'm going to video you." And I went, "No, you're not videoing." And then this guy, I said, "I can't get over that fence." This guy, the other side, recognised us from the channel, and he picked me up and lifted me over the fence. It's just brilliant. I mean, that's what it's all about. So I mean, just to have that feeling on a day out was just great. Rob Manton, the dream is still alive. Do you believe in that, everyone? The dream's still alive?
Yeah, definitely. For me,
yeah.
For me, it's still alive. And it's amazing, really, where we were from the start of the season with all the fiasco with the pitch and everything. And I know we keep saying this, where we were to where we are now. If you just said where we're going to be, everybody would snap your hand off, wouldn't they? You know, because we didn't think we'd be anywhere near the playoff.
We did. If you're not back on the pods, I was saying this back then. I was always positive.
I mean, in October we were bottom.
Yeah, when we were bottom and everyone was getting all upset, I was saying, "No, you just wait, we'll be there." I was right.
I knew we'd been improved.
We won't mention any names who always sit on the fence. There's a clue. No, I know he's not very well. Get well soon, Mark. Get well soon. That's why he's not on tonight. Well
Michael Fetter, has that been on yet? Find it bizarre, poor Blackburn home attendance yesterday. Relegation not pushing for the last place. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought Michael up because his partner Kimberly and Jet and Portia, they won one of the food vouchers from the competition.
Oh, cool.
The 200 show competitions. So there's Michael, there's Kimberly, there's Jet. Jet's favourite player is Ben Wilson. He gave Ben Wilson a picture of Jet was being held by Ben Wilson, and Kimberly took a picture of him, and he gave a picture to Ben Wilson, and Ben Wilson's put the picture on his mantelpiece at home of him. Jet's his favourite player. And that's little Portia. So they won one of our vouchers. So our competitions are real, guys. So if you have won anything, here's the numbers again. So don't forget to get on it and claim your prize. But yeah, so it's just fantastic, wasn't it? Should we show some more?
So what then?
Go on.
Oh no, I'll tell you what we show. Should we show the coach on the way home?
That's it. This is what happened on the coach on the way home, just as we're leaving the stadium.
First coach out, we're off.
Oh, he's magic, you know. Superman Wilson goals. He's magic, you know. Superman Wilson goals.
And
he's magic, you know. Superman Wilson goals. He's magic, you know. Superman Wilson goals. He's magic, you know. Superman Wilson scores.
That's how you do it, Dave, on the coach.
Yeah,
we didn't have that much excitement on ours, trust me.
It was tremendous. It was great. I mean, it was a great journey back, and then obviously it was a bit longer than we thought. So a lot of them fell asleep as we hit all the roadworks and the traffic problems. So I certainly had a kit, or tried to, on the way back.
We know you had a kit. We couldn't hear the music for you snoring.
Well, I didn't because Miles kept phoning me, so I didn't get a kit.
You didn't get a kit, no.
Miles kept phoning me.
Did he? I heard him on the phone to you at one stage. Yeah, I did hear him.
I was worried about him. I was worried about telling him to take a divert, didn't I? Did he take that divert?
Yeah. Remind everybody, by the way. Remind everybody about if you haven't voted for your player of the season. I'm going to go and ask people now their player of the season. Claudia, who would your player of the season be?
Oh, blimey.
If I had to put you on the spot. And you can vote, by the way. Your email, you can go into a draw to win a £25 voucher.
Oh, it's got to be Victor for me, I think.
Vic?
Yeah, we don't get many players who score that many goals at any level.
Yeah.
And he's improved. I mean, up until... Because I think he did this at Christmas, didn't we? And I sort of gave a shout out for Jamie Allen at the time because I thought he was having a good season. And I think had he not got injured, he'd he'd have been up there for me. But yeah, Victor's been top man this season. I know he's got his little faults and that, but you know, he can't knock the goals and the assists. He's doing what's expected of a big centre forward at the minute. And obviously, and the other person is Fads as well. It's
Fads, he's got a few votes already, I think. Fads.
Yeah, he's a diamond, isn't he? Really, he's
absolutely.
Voting. Get your voting.
Get your voting, please. Email info@skybluefanstv.co.uk. Go into the draw to win a £25 voucher. Dave, I'm sure you've done that already. You can tell us who you voted for.
I voted for Vic.
Did you?
I voted for Vic. He scored the goals, hasn't he? You know, there's a lot of players chipped in, hasn't they, this year? But he's the standout, obviously, because he scored all the goals. But you know, it could be a number. Who knows? Who knows? He's got to be the favourite, hasn't he? You know. I mean, the difficult one for me is going to be the young player. Yeah. Because there's an abundance of players, isn't there? If I was going to give it to anyone right now, I'll give it to my favourite player. I will give it to young Doyle because I think he's been brilliant. But then I like McNally. I like Josh Eccles. I think Josh Eccles, he's probably the most improved player for me.
Yeah, and he's been brought in and he's had a lot more games probably than expected this year, hasn't he? Because of injury.
And he's playing in a position now that suits him.
Yeah, without a doubt. Victoria, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who you voted for, or have you voted yet?
Haven't voted yet. I'm still a bit torn because the obvious answer is Big Vic, isn't it? But I think that so many other players have contributed. So I'm not sure yet. Hamer's got to be a big shout, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Ben Wilson with all his clean sheets. I'm with Dave as well. I absolutely love Callum Doyle. I think he's been immense this season for such a young kid. So I think he's a good shout for young player this season, isn't he? So I think a lot of players have stepped up in quite a difficult season, haven't they? And yeah. So no, I haven't voted yet, and I'm still deciding. So they've still got chance to swing my vote if they.
Well, we had a few. I can tell you, we had a few votes for Ben Wilson this morning. Came through, believe it or not. I wonder why that was. Miles, have you decided yet?
The thing is for me, right? The season's just been phenomenal, and. You're on about young. I'll go with young player first, but young player for me, I think it's between probably Callum Doyle or Josh Eccles, because Josh Eccles has come into this team. He started out the season playing as right wing back, which is not his natural position. He grew into that. He grew into that role really, really well. You know, he took on the role because we had no wing backs. Dabo was injured, and you know we didn't have Cuffy and. He took it on the chin. He kept going and going and going. And at Watford, he was fantastic. Watford at right wing back, he was just out of this world. The cat's gone across the screen again.
I've just seen the pussycat. I thought it was a James Bond film.
Get that cat under control, will you? And then slotting into midfield is getting better and better each week. So for me, young players between Callum Doyle and Josh Eccles, I think. If my heart goes with it, you've got to give it the Cov boy, really. And you've got to give it to the local lad. Doyle's going back to Man City. We might not ever see him in a Cov shirt again, but we're going to see Eccles in a Cov shirt again. So he's probably edging
I'm hoping for the season alone.
I'm hoping he'll give us another year, but
I've told my man
they don't normally do that
on Saturday.
They don't normally do that, though, do they? They normally like to ship them off somewhere else to learn the trade somewhere else. So. For me, at the moment, Eccles is edging it because he's played in two positions, and for his age to play at right wing back where he don't play is just fantastic. My player of the season, and I'm going to tell it now because we've only got till next Thursday. My player of the season's Ben Wilson because Vic got it last year. Ben Wilson, he didn't play the first 3 games. His attitude, his mentality, his attitude towards the fans. It's not just about what he's done on the pitch. It's about what he does off the pitch. You see on social media, he's in Stratford. He has a photo with everyone whenever anyone bumps into him. He loves the fans that much. He loves the club that much. And I remember when we interviewed him at the Leamington Supporters Club, he said to us when we interviewed him back then, he said he was number 2, but he was going to make it number 1. He's made it number 1. He's kept 19 clean sheets, and he's gone and scored a goal. If that doesn't win him Player of the Season, I don't know what will. Because Vic ain't going to be here, is he? I keep saying he's going to be here because I'm dreaming about that. But you've got to give it Ben Wilson. The lad, his attitude towards the club is just absolutely second to none. He loves us. He loves the fans. He loves the club. He loves Mark Robbins. He loves Adi Vidas. He loves all the backroom staff. And whenever you meet him, he is the most fantastic guy to meet. He is just got to be one of the best. One of the best. He's brilliant. Brilliant.
I love the little video he put out saying he didn't need 2 or 3 touches like Big Vic to score.
20 touches. He didn't need 20 touches.
They've got a good relationship, them two. They have a lot of banter between each other.
Yeah, Ben Wilson's just been phenomenal. And it's not just what he's done on the pitch, it's what he does off the pitch. And for me, that's just fantastic. He sat in the car in Spain having a drink with me, having a chat with me. I mean, that was just beautiful. We only met him a couple of times, and he sat there having a drink with you and having a chat with you. And that's the sort of guy he is. It's just brilliant.
He's a very down to earth guy, isn't he? Yeah, he's very down to earth.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Fantastic. He's a fantastic ambassador for our club. Hamer's the same. I remember being at Tom Grennan. Hamer tapped me on the shoulder. I didn't even know he was there, and he knew who I was, and he gave me a big hug and everything. Hamer's the same. But Ben Wilson, for me, what an ambassador for our club. Like McFadzean is, but Ben Wilson, all day long, Player of the Season for me, definitely.
Here's a question, but I know the answer to this. I presume it was Oggy, Claudio.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think it. No,
the last
it was Kirkland, wasn't it?
Was it? Who's the last keeper to win the Player of the Season? Was it Kirkland? Or was it even Marcus Hedman? Did he win it?
Let me
Westwood win it. I've got, those football cards. I've got up until last season, every Player of the Season since the 60s. I've got one of each.
Yeah.
So I need to look at those.
Well, I presume Oggy did win it. He'd been here that long. I mean, he must have won it at some stage. Surely.
He did.
No, he did. He did. But that's a good question. I don't know the answer to. I'm guessing Oggy, but I may be wrong. Dave, do you know the answer to that?
Not a clue.
No.
I think Oggy won it when we won the cup, didn't he?
That season.
Right, there we go.
Possibly.
I've googled it. I can't find anything. Just tells me goalkeepers.
Let's have a look at some more of the comments. I think Tom we smashed the team 5 or 6-0. Said Wes, you're right there, Wes. We could do with a good win to get that goal average up. Victoria's positive, and likely Mark who's negative. Yes, that's correct, Glenn. You're right there.
I am a naturally optimistic person. I can't help it.
And Mark Reed reckons it's written in the stars. West End at Wembley, 40,000. West End at Wembley. I wonder if we will have that end. 40,000 Cov fans watching us win 3-2 to make it to the Prem. That'll be fantastic.
The League Two one was on Sky this morning, and that was good. Anyway, Kieran Westwood won it in 2009, 2010, apparently.
Kieran Westwood. So he was the last one, yeah. Kieran Westwood. Forgot about Kieran Westwood. Yeah, I really forgot about him. I did.
And Andy won it in 86, 87.
Well.
Yeah.
Andy Marshall as well has won it.
Oh, Andy Marshall won it, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Cov to win 2-1, says Glenn. Any more videos or pictures to show before we wrap up, Miles? I know we've had a lot to do tonight. Sorry, running a little bit.
Just want to show the pandemonium at the Skybluetavern last night.
Oh yes, this is
That's just mad, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That was like me in my living room. I bet my neighbours were thinking, "What's going on next door?"
We've gone in for a quiet meal.
Imagine someone went in there for a birthday meal. Yeah.
I think that was the two. I think that was the two downstairs at the first table. There was no one jumping around. And then kindly, Cigar Fingers on Twitter has sent us a video. I seen it earlier. Glenn sent me the video, and I got in touch with the chap, Cigar Fingers on Twitter. You can follow him at cigar_fingers. He sent us this little video he's done of some Blackburn fans crying.
Dry your eyes, mate. I know it's hard to take, but her mind has been made up. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, mate. I know you want to make her see how much this pain hurts, but you've got to walk away now. It's over. Dry your eyes, mate. I know it's hard to take, but her mind has been made up. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, mate. I know you want to make her see how much this pain hurts, but you've got to walk away now. It's over.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
Thank you, Cigar Fingers. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that.
I didn't even understand. Like, they were so adamant it was punched in, and it clearly wasn't. I've never seen such like.
Well, what gets me wrong, their own goal cam, which is their own camera behind the goal, which they set up where every club's got their own camera behind the goal, clearly shows it's not a handball. So surely they must have looked at that before they make any comments. You know, that's their own camera. That's their camera set up behind the goal. It's unbelievable.
Is this the picture? There's a picture, I think. No, not that one. Is it this one?
One of their fans posted a picture on Facebook or Twitter or something saying it was categorically proven.
That picture there.
And it clearly wasn't. It's crazy.
Going in the net. Yeah, the ball's just gone in the net there.
He said he jumped like a salmon and it hit his chest and rolled down onto his thigh and went into the back of the net.
And that's what you can see in the footage. That's what you can see, isn't it?
Exactly.
Do you know what makes it even more sweeter, Miles? He actually megged the keeper. That's impressive. That's impressive. He actually nutmegged the keeper.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's funny watching Dom Hyam just stand there with his hands on his hips. He didn't go running to the referee. He was just like shaking his head and going, "Oh, Ben scored. Jesus, I won't hear the last of that." I'm sure they get a lot of banter between them.
In fact,
how many goals we score in injury time because of last season when he was with us.
Yeah.
What I did see, lads, after the game was, if you see the city unseen, there's a picture, isn't there, with Hamer standing talking to Dom,
in the
which
tunnel.
Which I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah. In the tunnel.
Because look, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go, did he? Dom didn't want to go. And I still think now he'd come back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think he would. Plus, also, I mean, Miles was there as well. We've seen Dom Hyam obviously quite a lot in Spain. When Blackburn were out in Spain, in Marbella, when covering, and they were always together talking. He came over to the hotel a couple of times, chatting to the players, and he obviously clearly got a lot of friends still at the club. And he came in his Blackburn tracksuit, and he was the only one that came, and all the rest of them were COD players there. So it was mad, really.
I actually think if Doug King had come in earlier, he'd have paid for the pitch, sorted it. We wouldn't have had to sell higher.
Yeah.
He seems like a man of action, doesn't he? And what he's done at Brighton, he'd just done it at the CBS to get the games on.
Yeah.
Which is where all the problems have started from, really.
It makes you wonder if Doug King had come in a little bit earlier, that he would have had more time to put an offer in for the ground as well, and he probably would have got
It's
it.
just a shame that it took so long to get it over the line.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a shame. We never know what the
transfer
problem
window.
was, the hold up was, do we?
Yeah, it only really left us two weeks of transfer window. We couldn't really do much, could we?
No.
And I've heard lots of things where people have said, they could still plan, but supposedly you're not allowed to. It's when there's a takeover, which is what Blues are getting done over. Because they sign players, the new owner was signing people before they actually took over.
Yeah,
look at that comment.
Fingers crossed.
Look at that comment.
Talk of signing, Mark Reed. I have a big feeling Big will announce he's signing a new contract the awards night next Sunday.
Whoa.
Wow, that'll be.
Well, you know what that means, don't you, Ken? We're gonna be, the champagne will be rolling on our table.
Yeah, we are there. By the way, anybody who's going, we are going to be present. Sky Blue Fans TV will be there on the table, and Dave, you're joining us. You're there. Yeah. It should be a good night. I was there last year, and it was very good indeed. And the players do come and have a chat to you and milling about, so you can have plenty of time for photos and chatting to them personally. They don't mind chatting to them, and it is really a good evening, to be honest. It's a really good night. And then you got a bit of music from big DJ Smithy, who does Dillon's down at Dillon's. He'll be DJing for the night as well. So we have a meal as well, believe it or not, all in. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good night. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully by that time we'll have a few more points in the bag, all going well. Well, we're hoping. Let's just see a few more comments before we wrap it up. Michael Fetter, well, nice to see Alan, Palm and Taver. Oh, yes, they were actually. All three of them were at the game last night. I noticed Jamie Allen on the pitch. Congratulations, Ben Wilson on his goal.
And Tavares was on the pitch.
Yeah, and Palmer was there as well. So it's nice to see even the injured players, getting involved and coming on the pitch afterwards and clapping the fans and celebrating and all that sort of stuff. It's really good.
They're part of the team that's got us here. They're part of the team that's got us to where we are. We're that close, and so they should be there. They're part of the team that have got the team where they are now.
Yeah,
Palmer, Allen, Tavares. They've all played their part.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael's come back on. Michael Fetter. If we were to win these two home games, I can genuinely see loads of Cov fans travelling up to Middlesbrough without tickets. Absolutely, I quite agree with that. If we win the next two home games, there'll be loads of people going to Middlesbrough. Tickets are sold out, unfortunately, but I don't know if we can get any more. I doubt it very much. I thought we'd get a few more off Middlesbrough, to be fair, but we haven't. We've only got just over 2,000, I think, which is very poor, isn't it? Really. Because it's quite a big stadium, Middlesbrough, isn't it? And I'm surprised they didn't give us any more. But there'll be loads going up to Middlesbrough. Ian Smalls, come on. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well. Good show, guys. Alan back on Saturday. No Carol. Yeah, no Carol. Jamie Allen back, lads and ladies. Victoria, looking forward to Jamie Allen coming back, hopefully, in the team. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry.
I thought you were out by asking you first.
Yeah, I was just... do we know how Ben Sheaf is?
We don't, but I don't think Ben Sheaf will play Saturday personally.
No, so that makes Alan...
I think Jamie Allen will come.
Yeah, so I mean that's neat. It's a bit of luck, really, isn't it? If he's going to be ready to come back, because otherwise we'd have been really desperate in the midfield. So I think Alan gets a lot of stick, and to a degree from me as well over the season. But he does the role he's there for, doesn't he? And you can always rely on a solid performance from him. So I think that's a good bit of news.
Miles, Jamie Allen back, good. That's great, isn't it? Good news.
Yeah, I think we need him going into these last couple of games. He can, if we're struggling for a goal, he sort of can. If the ball comes in, he just ends up being there, and he's scored enough goals this season to credit a return straight away. And we haven't got a lot of options. I don't think Kelly can survive 90 minutes.
No, but I suppose it's good to have him on the bench to come on if need be, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because he did really well last night, and he's been a fantastic servant to the club. I don't think he'll be here next season, but You know, he deserves his place on the bench. He deserves his part of this team that are on the verge of the playoffs, that are on the verge of trying to get into the Premier League. And you imagine if he does that, I mean, that would just be amazing for him. And I don't think he'll survive the 90 minutes. So, yeah, definitely need Jamie Allen. We haven't got a lot of options. And he just gives us that little bit extra, a little bit more of a high press. He doesn't press as high as Callum O'Hare or Casey Palmer, but he does the press a little bit more than other players. So, yeah, he definitely deserves a start Saturday if he's fit. Yeah.
Yeah. Claudio, you'd be glad to see Jamie Allen back? I'm sure you will.
Yeah, we need you need energy, don't you? You need somebody with legs, just like
we've been missing that.
Press.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he starts with the team that ended as well.
That's a possibility.
I think we've got to be on the front foot, and he's basically, that's what he said, hasn't he? You know, Mark, he says we need to be more assertive, you know, and they've got to give it a go because they're going to be desperate for points, you see. So at some stage they'll be having to have a go if it's level, you know, if it's close. So, but Jamie Allen, great, I think. If he's fit, play him.
Yeah, Dave, we need to come out the blocks flying, don't we? I think on Saturday.
Without a shadow of a doubt. That's why I think if Allen's fit, he's got to play. For me, he gets some unjustified shit. He gives us a lot of drive, energy. Gets in some good forward positions as well. His engine's fantastic for me, and he gives us loads of energy. So if he's fit, play him, especially if Ben Sheafhead there, because Ben Sheafhead's awesome, isn't he? Jamie Allen's.
Yeah, it'd be a bonus if Ben Sheaf is fit, but I don't think he will be. But it'd be a bonus if he is. To be fair,
but, you know, Allen's a little bit different, isn't he? He gives you a lot of energy, whilst Ben Sheaf he breaks up the play and knocks the ball around. But if Allen's fit, he's got to play for me.
Yeah, I quite agree. I think I'm looking forward to Jamie Allen coming back. We do need that bit of energy in midfield. But that's about it. We've run out of time. I think Miles, we covered everything.
Two secs. I'll just
go on.
Right, I think I've got an angle for another show.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Invite your pet, because Claudio and Dave have had both pets on the show tonight, so I think we need to do a show.
Yeah.
Have a pet on the show.
I've got the.
Well, the dog's fast asleep, Miles, so she's not going to get on tonight.
The cat has discovered now how to get into the kitchen cupboards. We're having to put a child lock on the cupboard that all the cat food is in. We've even put stools in front of it, and it's learned. Well, it's taught itself to push the stool out the way. It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare. He's in the bread bin now.
Unbelievable. Right. Also, can I just give a big shout out to the Three Musketeers? Now, you probably know them, Will, Jack.
Yes, we know them.
Tyler. They normally do. Some of them do the camera sometimes for us when we're traveling around. They are all 18 now. Within the space of 5 weeks between each other, they're all 18.
God help us all.
Boys, and God help us now for the rest of for next season. It's just going to be carnage. And by the way, a little story about Jack. I know he's going to be watching. I've got to say this.
Not about his sunglasses.
We ripped it out of him all night last night. So we all went to QPR. He went to the Westfield shopping centre. He went into Louis Vuitton shop and he bought a pair of sunglasses for £460. That's got to be the most expensive away day ever.
Absolutely unbelievable.
But happy birthday to all three of them.
His dad went mad at him, didn't he? His dad went mad at him.
Oh,
quite rightly so.
But happy birthday to the Three Musketeers. That's what they're called.
yeah, fair play to the lads. At least we can send them up the bar now to get our drinks, can't we?
Yes.
Yeah, for a change. Anyway, look, time's caught up on us. It's been a fantastic show. We've crammed everything in. There's been loads of stuff to cram in. And what a fantastic end to the match it was last night. Long journey home, but it was well worth it, weren't it? That 1-1 draw keeps us in the mix of the playoffs. And hopefully, with another 2 home games coming up, another 6 points in the bag, and then see what we can get at Middlesbrough. You just never know. It's all very much up in the air still, but we're in the mix. Who would have thought we'd still be in the mix at this time of the year? So Thanks very much for joining us. Dave, thanks for coming on tonight. Appreciate it. I'll see you at the Wars night. And Claudio, thank you as always.
Cheers, mate. See you.
And Miles, thank you very much for your input. And Victoria, I know she's had to shoot off now. Thanks, Vic, for coming on. You can join Miles, by the way, on Saturday from about 2 o'clock. He'll be down Dillon's with a normal live stream. I should be down there as well. Live stream from Dillon's, pre-match before the Reading game, vital Reading game, where hopefully we can get the 3 points. So from all of us, Sky Blue Fans TV, thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. Thanks everybody who tunes in on either our live streams on match days or on our Thursday or Sunday shows. We much appreciate it. And we'll see you Saturday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon is our next show. Yes. A very good evening to you.
We'll finish with Ben Wilson's goal.
Yes, what a way to finish. Yeah.
Keeper score. Back post, Ben! Ben! Back post!